I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat this. This was an absolute disgrace from Chelsea Football Club. We just lost 5-2 to PSG in Paris, and what makes it even worse is that we handed them that game ourselves. For 75 minutes, we were there. We were fighting. We were competing. We were showing quality. And then that final 15 minutes, we just collapsed. Individual mistakes, naive tactics, and decisions that honestly make no sense at the Champions League level. If our hopes of progressing weren't already hanging by a thread, they definitely are at this point. Let's talk about it. Oh, this club is going to be the death of me, honestly, because what makes this result so infuriating, so frustrating, so unfathomable is that we were actually playing well for, large stretches of this match. We went toe-to-toe with PSG in Paris, which is not an easy thing to do, right? We showed courage, right? We played through their press. And every time PSG went ahead, we responded, right? First, Malo pulled one back. Then later, Enzo Fernández got one back. And it was 2-2 in Paris. And let's be real, we had all the momentum, right? That's the moment where, top teams manage the game. They gut out that result, right? They slow it down. They stay compact. They play smart, right? And they don't give PSG any clear-cut chances. But instead, Chelsea did the absolute opposite of that, right? We lost complete control of that game. We had no idea what we were doing. Naivety at its best when it comes to our management. And this is where I'm looking at Liam Rosenior, right? Like, this was extremely naive, right? So this is something that he needs to look at and he needs to learn quick, because, nobody gives you any mercy. Nobody gives you any, breathing space when it comes to the Champions League, right? There's no experimentation at this level. You need to know that you have a second leg coming up. You can't just go all guns blazing and throw the game away, all right? So that's something that I really, really want to see from Liam Rosenior going forward. Otherwise, he's just not cut out for it. Another thing is we have to talk about the biggest gamble. One of the largest talking points for this game, which was the goalkeeper decision. Liam Rosenior starting Filip Jørgensen over Robert Sanchez. Now, I get it. I understand the reasoning, right? PSG press aggressively. Liam Rosenior wanted a goalkeeper who can play out from the back. But we've already seen this work with Sanchez. We've already seen what he's done in the Club World Cup. We've already seen him play well with this team. So I don't understand why, with such a big game, you would take this opportunity to gamble and change your goalkeeper. By taking that decision, you're accepting massive amounts of risk, right? And when we were at 2-2, that risk completely blew up in our faces, right? Jørgensen tries to play a pass under pressure to the middle when he has two wide open options on either side. Explain to me how that makes sense, right? Terrible decision. Barcola obviously intercepts that pass. Vitinha lobs it over Jørgensen, and we're already down 3-2 from a stupid goalkeeping decision. And just like that, all that hard work was undone, and the game completely changes in an instant, right? From that moment, Chelsea looked mentally broken, mentally shaken, heads dropped, defensive structures essentially just disappeared, and PSG did what PSG do. They punished us. And look, like I said in the beginning of the season, when we got Rosenior into the door, I said I'm not going to blame him for the failures of this club, right? I'm going to blame the board, because they're the ones who decided to get rid of a manager who was doing well, a manager who, had more experience at least, under the Pep Guardiola school of, football, and to bring in this young manager who, granted, has potential, but lacks the experience with a team that lacks experience, right? So this is where, we need to be honest as Chelsea fans, right? Like, Liam Rosenior was extremely naive tonight, right? You need to think like you're playing PSG away. Champions League knockout football. The score is 2-2. That's when a manager needs to recognize and slow the game down, right? Slow the game down with your in-game management, right? But what did we do? We kept playing like it was a friendly match in preseason, right? We were trying to force a buildup. We were leaving spaces. We were inviting, PSG's press. Let's not forget, PSG have one of the most aggressive presses in Europe, and we were just inviting it in. And then you have the substitutions, right? Honestly, I don't understand them, right? Taking off Cole Palmer and taking off João Pedro, two players who can actually keep the ball, who can control the tempo, and, with moments of brilliance can create something for you. Taking them off completely killed our ability to stay calm in this game, right? Instead, PSG started attacking wave after wave after wave of attacks, right? And once that fourth goal went in, we were done. Like, we were finished. And as frustrating as this game was to watch, I also want to be a little bit fair, right? Not everyone had a bad game tonight, right? Enzo Fernández was fantastic. Arguably, I think he was probably the best player on the pitch for us, right? He looked like a real leader on that pitch, right? He scored an equalizer. He dictated play. And honestly, he looked furious with what was happening around him. There was that clip of him whipping the ball back at Jørgensen for making those mistakes and literally telling him, play the pass, play the easy pass. Don't try to do anything crazy, right? And I love to see that, right? From someone who's like the heartbeat of the team, who acts like a captain. I want to see that passion. I want to see him showing what, we as fans felt watching this game, right? Pedro Neto was another one who I thought had an excellent game. Every time he ran at PSG's defensive line, he created problems. He was giving a lot of issues to Marquinhos. He couldn't keep up with him with the pace. But overall, like defensively, like we were all over the place, right? Fofana and Chalobah struggled badly with PSG's pace and their movement. And our backline just kept losing shape. And, again, it comes back to, goalkeeping. And I feel like with Robert Sanchez in the game, he would have added more stability in that back line to kind of help us with that, right? So without it, I mean, we looked horrible, right? Especially after that goalkeeper mistake. I feel like just, our team just fell apart mentally, right? Like we gave up, like we collapsed. And the end result kind of showed why. Now, stat-wise, here's where, it's like the most shocking part of this game today, right? Chelsea actually created more expected goals than PSG. Our XG was, I believe, 1.53, and PSG's was like 0.87, right? So let that sink in. We conceded 5 goals from less than 1 expected goal, all right? That tells you exactly what happened tonight. PSG didn't destroy us. They didn't dominate us. We destroyed ourselves. As usual, we killed ourselves with mistakes, poor decisions, and a complete lack of composure when the game was in balance. All right. Not to mention, lack of leadership from, Rosenior. We didn't manage the game well. So when it comes to like the reality and, the brutal truth of the situation, we're going back to Stamford Bridge, 3 goals down, right? Against one of the most dangerous attacking teams in Europe. And on paper, this tie is essentially over. But as we all know, football is funny sometimes and it can surprise us. And, historically, Chelsea has produced some of the greatest Champions League nights in history. I'm talking Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Napoli. And if there's any club capable of a crazy comeback, it's definitely Chelsea. But the question is, those teams had experience. Those teams had a spine. Those teams had, experienced management. Those are all elements that this team does not have. The reality is that this team does not have the mentality, right? Because tonight we didn't look like a team ready for Champions League football. Guys, like my head's gone. I'm still fuming from last night. I thought I'd wait 24 hours to put out this video because I wanted to calm down, but didn't help, right? So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Was Rosenior right to start Jørgensen, or do you think that decision essentially just cost us Champions League? Do you think we still have a chance in that second leg? Drop your comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, as always, guys, I appreciate the support. Please like, subscribe, and join the family, guys. So until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.